Okay, have you started?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. You can go ahead.
Okay, so today will be the session 11th of ML Bootcamp, and we will be studying unsupervised learning. Okay. In the unsupervised learning, we will be particularly seeing the K-means algorithm. So there was two types. ML was divided into three parts. The first was your supervised learning. The second was your unsupervised learning. And the third was your reinforcement learning. So what happens in the case of supervised learning? You know your predicted outcome means your y. X was your independent variables, independent features, and y was your dependent features. Means the prediction of y was dependent on the features x. Means you know the answers previously. तुमको answers पहले से पता थे. तुम उस पे मॉडल ट्रेन कर रहे. Means you were knowing the output we are training on that particular output. But in the case of unsupervised learning, what happens is that you don't have the labels. Means you don't have the output variables. You just have the input features x. You don't have the output label y. So you have to train your model only on the basis of X. Now what happens in the case of reinforcement learning? The model trains by its own. It doesn't have any label or something. So okay, it learns by its particular environments. It gives some particular reward, and if it doesn't hit the target, it will punish himself. Okay, so that's for just the basics of machine learning. Now we'll be seeing what comes under unsupervised learning. So in the unsupervised learning, we will be unsupervised learning all about clustering. Okay. So what does clustering means? Okay. So suppose I have these points randomly, these points. Okay. So I can tell them that these points belong to one group and these points belong to another group. Okay. So that's clustering. Means you are trying to cluster the things out. Okay. In the case of clustering, you don't have your predicting outcomes. Means you don't have the labels. Okay. So what is clustering? Clustering is basically unsupervised learning. Okay. It requires data. Means you have the data points, but you do not have the labels. It is not mentioned that this belongs to group A or this belongs to group B. Okay. So why it is used? It is used to detect the patterns. Means suppose you are in the case of spam ham, we have seen there are two categories, spam or ham. Okay, it was a case of supervised learning, but in the case of unsupervised learning, you don't know the predicted outcome. The model tries to figure out by its own. So that was the case of unsupervised learning. It relates to the customer shopping pattern. Okay, so what does exactly customer shopping patterns means? Okay, so remember when I have given the example of Netflix. In the case of Netflix, if you have watched Friends series, Friends belong to comedy, matlab comedy type. Then if you have watched Big Bang Theory, or else if you have watched Two Broke Girls or Two and a Half Men, then it will definitely recommend you the next time a comedy type of series. Okay, because it is trying to figure out some pattern between this series. In the Friends, it is a comedy type. Big Bang Theory is also comedy type. Two and a Half Men is also comedy type. Means it is trying to find out some relationships, but it doesn't know the output labels. Okay, so it is used for finding out the particular patterns. Okay, so when do you use clustering? It is useful when we don't know the labels. Okay, we don't know what for a particular value we want to find out. Okay, so clustering can be said as points in the same group. Means these are points in the same group, or points can be in the different group that is completely dissimilar. Okay, so that's was about clustering. मतलब K means कहाँ कहाँ पे use होता है? All the unsupervised learning algorithms use clustering. Means the main focus is on the clustering. Okay, suppose you went to a vegetable. The simple example I can tell you is that, okay, so you went to a vegetable shop. Where's my cursor? Okay, so you went to a vegetable shop. What you can see in the vegetable shop? There are different kind of vegetables. Okay, so you can notice like all the carrots will be kept here. All the carrots will be kept here. Then there will be brinjals in some other section. There will be tomatoes in the other sections. Means they all are grouped into some similar points. In the carrot section, you will only find carrot, carrot, carrot. Okay, in the tomato section, you will only find green tomatoes, yellow tomatoes. Okay, so means they are classified into some places. Okay, so now what we will do is we will just perform a simple exercise. Okay, and I want you to answer this exercise. Okay, so now what happens is, let's say I want to open a pizza shop. Okay, I want to open a pizza shop. Suppose I want to own a Domino's. Okay, so you can open franchises under Domino's. Okay, and I want to open in a city, Nagpur, or anywhere in your city. Okay, so what do you think? What would be the possible challenges while opening a pizza shop in your possible in your not in your vicinity but in your particular city? Okay, what would be the challenges you would be facing? What would be the key points you would be thinking about before opening a pizza chain shop? Yes, I want some replies. Best location. Okay, Nakul. Can you be more specific? Location check. Competition. Great. So what I will be looking for if you want to open a pizza chain restaurant in my city. So what would be the main points? Food quality. Okay. Accessible to all customers. Great. Okay. Okay. Crowd interaction. Okay. Yes. Yes. Affordable price. To some extent, Elvin. To some extent. Okay. So now everyone's answer is great. But okay. So what I will be seeing is the first and the foremost thing I will be thinking that from which area the pizzas being ordered the most. Means suppose in the case of my city, in the case of Napku, the most pizzas will be ordered from civil lines in a particular area. Suppose this is a city C, so there is some area called as X. So the most pizzas are ordered from this X area. So I will be targeting this kind of area, or the second number of place which will be Y. So I will be targeting this area. So this was the first factor from which I can decide. The second factor is that if I'm choosing the area X, how many pizza shops are already open in that area? Matlab, if I'm opening a pizza shop in this area called as X, so is there any previous competitions? मतलब उधर पहले से competitions है कि नहीं है? If there is competition, if there are 10 to 12 shops in that area, why would I be opening in that area? Okay, so that would reduce my sales. Okay, so that would be the second points I would be taking into the consideration while opening. Okay, the third time is if I'm opening an a shop in that particular area X, so how far are the customers located from my store? Okay, so are they located 6 kilometers away, or are the most number of customers located 3 kilometers away? If there means I will calculate the mean distance of all this area. Suppose this is my if I open the pizza shop in the area X, what is the mean? Means the least amount of distance that I would have to cover. So you know the policy of Domino's that says we will deliver your pizza under 30 minutes, else it will be free. So how does it how do they optimize this algorithm? So they have figured out, they will find out from which area the pizzas are order most. Suppose I am finding the area X is ordering the pizza the most. So what I will do is, the next thing I will do is the customers I will select. So of course I will be having the customers database. I will be seeing the address. Okay, so from this location in the X area, this location has ordered the most number of pizzas. The second location comes here, the third location comes here. Okay, so I will try to mean, I would take the average of this area, means average of these customers, and I would finding out that 3.6 kilometers is the mean distance from my pizza shop if I open in the X location. Okay, means my delivery will be almost as fast as possible. I will try to deliver as fast pizzas as possible. Okay, so these were the main 3 points as per my consideration. Of course there are other points which we have discussed. Okay, accessible to all customers, competition, location check. Okay, so have you got this example by how I'm trying to clustering the data? Till here, any doubt? Is the example clear to you? Okay, no doubt. Great, great. Okay, so that's how clustering works. Okay, so uh, what we have seen in the case of k-means. Okay, so you might be getting confused about, so you have taught knn algorithm also, and now you are teaching us k-means. So what's the main difference between the k-means and knn? Anyone who would like to try? What will be the major difference in the case of knn and k-means? Answers will be appreciated. Let it be wrong. So previously we have seen knn algorithm, and now we are seeing k-means algorithm. Some of you might have the doubt that these both the two algorithms are doing the same thing, but there is a difference between both of these, and that is a major difference. And I want you to tell the difference if it is possible. knn is nearest number where means k is the mean. No, Nakul, don't go by the names. Okay, so still a good try. Okay. What about Chi, Samiksha? I only see hardly people answering the question. One is Sheen, one is Nakul, one is Samiksha, Daryl. Oh, and Daryl is not present today. I can feel his absence. There is a groups. There are the groups for the same items here are different. Okay, okay. Okay, so I would tell the difference. Okay, and keep this difference in mind. Whenever you are going for interview, the interviewer will be asking you the question. Suppose you are given a data set, will I be applying KNN or K-means? Okay, or else he will be asking what's the major difference between KNN and K-means. She says KNN is finding the point which belong to give, K-means is dividing the group. Okay. So now just focus here. Okay, the major difference. Okay, it the KNN belongs to supervised learning, and K-means belongs to unsupervised learning. In the supervised learning, we know we have labels. So in the case of KNN, we have our predicted values, means you have your y, your y, means you can compare these results which you have predicted. मतलब तुम्हारे पास पहले से labels थे in the case of KNN. In the case of K means you don't have labels, you don't have y, okay, you only have the x values, okay. तुम्हारे पास बस x values है. In the case of KNN, you are performing classification task, okay, you want to classify. But in the case of K means you are doing clustering, means you are grouping the data. Just keep these 2 points in mind. Okay, मतलब तुम KNN में KNN तुम्हारे पास पहले से डेटा था, you are having labels. Okay, excuse me for my handwriting. You are having labels in the case of KNN, but in the case of K means you do not have labels. You do not have your labels, means you do not have your y. Okay, that's the major difference. I will also note down. Okay, so KNN was your supervised learning, it was your unsupervised learning. In the case of KNN, you are having labels. In the case of K means you do not have labels. In the case of KNN, you are doing classification task. Okay, but in the case of K means you are doing clustering. Okay, have you got it? Major point समझा क्या? What's the major difference K means and KNN? If anyone asks you what's the difference, you should be able to tell these 3 points. Okay, रट्टा मत मारो बस इनको. Understand तुम क्या कर रहे हो. Supervised में तुम्हारे पास labels है. You have the labels in the case of supervised. In the case of unsupervised, you don't have labels. Labels है मतलब तुम्हारे पास already एक predicted output है जिससे तुम अपना prediction मतलब match कर सकते हो. You can tell these are the predicted and deviating. In the case of unsupervised learning, you do not have labels. Okay. Yes, Daniel, correct. In the case of cluster K-means, you do not have labels and it is clustering. You don't. It's not classification. But KNN is your classification algorithm. You should take down these points. Okay. So these were the major 3 points which you will be asking if the interviewer asks you, what's the difference between KNN and K-means? Okay. So I guess so you have no doubts. So we will be moving forward. So we have seen what's the clustering, and now we will be seeing what's K-means. Okay. So K-means is useful. A K-means is a clustering algorithm that tries to group similar items in the form of clusters. Okay, but you have seen in the case of KNN, we have to select the value of K. Similarly, in the case of K means you also have to select the value of K. Okay, it finds the similarity between the items and groups them into clusters. But in the case of your KNN, what it was doing, it was trying to group into the classes, your classes. In the case of K means you are clustering them. Okay, so just take an example, look at this example. Okay, so these were my data points and these were before applying my K-means algorithm. I haven't applied K-means algorithm yet. As soon as I apply K-means algorithm, my points are getting separated. Okay, so this is my cluster 1, this is the cluster 2, and this is the cluster 3. Okay, so how does K-means algorithm works? Okay, so we have the 3 major steps. The first is we have to select the value of K. Further on, we will be seeing how to select the value of K. The second is we have to initialize the centroids. So we have seen in the studied in your 11th or 12th classes what is a centroid. So this is your point A and this is your point B. I'll be joining these 2 points and the centroid will be A plus B by 2, means you're just doing the mean or average. So this will be my centroid. Okay, so I will be initializing the centroid and select the groups and average, find the average. Okay, so don't go into much depth, I will be clearing all these concepts. Okay, so for now just look at these 4 figures. Okay, we'll be working with these 4 figures now. Okay, so let's talk about the first figure. Okay, so we have 2 categories. First one is your blue category and the second one is your red category. Okay, so for just now for this purpose we can see there are clearly 2 type of clusters. Okay, further we will be seeing how to select the clusters, but consider my K value is here is 2, and what I will be doing, the first thing we have said is we have to select the value of K. The first thing we have to select the value of K. Okay, now we have selected the value of K as 2 points. Now what we will be doing, we will be taking out the centroids. Now, how will I be calculating the centroids? Now, since I have selected the 2 values randomly, okay, so these 2 values are projected randomly. I haven't placed them by my own. Okay, so these are projected randomly. Now, what I will be doing is I will be joining these 2 straight lines. Okay, and what I will be doing, I will be calculating the centroid. Centroid is A plus B by 2. Okay, so now I have find out the centroid. So this would be approximate centroid. Okay, so let me draw the centroid. So this will be centroid. The next thing which I will be doing is I will be drawing a perpendicular line to the centroid. Okay, so I will be drawing a perpendicular line here, just like here. Okay, hold on. I'll be drawing a perpendicular line to this centroid which I have just found. Okay, now what I will be doing is the points in the whole class will be belonging to this cluster. Okay, the cluster blue point, and this red point will, all points will be belonging to this cluster. Now what I'll be doing is I'll be calculating the mean. I'll be calculating the distance from each of this point. And for calculating the distance, how do we calculate the distance? We have studied in a lot of other lectures previously. How do we calculate the distance? There were many matrices for calculating the distance. How do we calculate the distance between these 2 points or any of the points? Yes. I'm expecting some answers. Suppose I have plotted these 2 lines and I want to calculate the distance of this point to this point. How would I be calculating the distance? Okay, great. Okay, I guess so Sonar is only paying the attention. You will be using Euclidean distance formula. And what does Euclidean distance says is under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square is your Euclidean distance. Okay. So this was your Euclidean distance, and of course you will be having your coordinates of this point. So you will be always having your x coordinate and y coordinate, and you will be substituting that coordinate. Okay. So you will be calculating the Euclidean distance of this point. Till now everything clear? Then what you will be doing? You will be doing average of all these points. Okay, so you have, since you have calculated distance from all these points in your region, now you will be taking the average. Okay, so find the average of all the blue points and the red points. Okay, and once you have found out, means you have found out the average, suppose this is your average, so now you will be moving your first you have initialized the point here. Now what you will be doing, your point will be getting out to the average of these values, means suppose the average comes out to be here, then the point will be coming to the here, the first point. मतलब इतना समझ लो कि इतने सारे मेरे पास पॉइंट्स थे. ओके, these were my green points, and these are my, okay, where is my cursor? And these are my red points. Okay, so first thing what I will be doing is I will be taking randomly 2 points. Okay, suppose I had chosen this randomly 2 points. Now what I will be doing, I will be joining these 2 points and I will be finding the centroid. Suppose the centroid comes out to be here. Now I'll be drawing a perpendicular line here. Okay, so once the perpendicular line is drawn, what I'll be doing is, so these all points fall, means all these points belong to these clusters and all the points below these lines belong to this cluster. Now what I'll be doing is, the first point which I initialize, I will be calculating the distance of each of the point with this cluster. Suppose I will be calculating the distance, and for calculating the distance we will be using Euclidean distance. Okay, so once I have found out the distance with these points and these points, the next thing which I will be doing is I will be doing the average of all the distances. Okay, so this, and once I have found out the average comes out to be here. Okay, let me use a different pen, and the average comes out to be here something. Oh no, the average comes out to be here, so I will be the first point which I have initialized here, I will be changing my point to here. मतलब मैंने वो पॉइंट चेंज किया, पहले मेरा पॉइंट यहाँ था, अभी मैंने उनका एवरेज लिया. नाउ द एवरेज कम्स आउट टू बी हियर, सो आई विल बी मूविंग द माय पॉइंट टू बी हियर. Again the steps will be repeated. So I will be joining these 2 points, I will be drawing a perpendicular, again I will be calculating the distance below the points, after the points. Once I calculated the distance, I will be calculating the mean. Okay, and this process will be getting repeated until that point, if we don't get to separate the boundaries. ठीक है, मतलब बाउंड्रीज सेपरेट नहीं हो सकती और मैं उनको सेपरेट नहीं कर सकता. ओके, इफ यू हैवंट क्लियर जस्ट विजुअलाइज द डायग्राम. पहले पॉइंट मेरा यहाँ था, फर्स्ट वॉज द पॉइंट हियर, द सेकंड वॉज द पॉइंट हियर, देन वी हैव टेकन द सेंट्रॉइड. वी हैव, मतलब लाइन के ऊपर वाली ब्लू कैटेगरी को बिलोंग करते हैं, रेड के नीचे वाली रेड कैटेगरी को. So now I will be calculating the distance of each of this point, and after calculating the distance I will be taking the average. Okay, so after taking out the average, so first was my point represented by this ninja hatodi ka signal or x. Okay, you can see after taking the average I am moving my point, so you can see the point is getting moved here to the average. Okay, so as soon as I move my point, of course my points, the clusters will be changed. Okay, so some of the blue points will be getting converted into red points and the red points will be getting converted into blue points. So that's what it has told. Some of the red point has changed to the blue points, that means they belong to the group blue now. Again the process is repeated and the process goes on and on until the clusters are not getting finalized. Okay, so here is a typical example. Okay, let me wait. So here we can see I have 3 points. Okay, so first point is initialized here. Okay, just see my arrow. First point is initialized here, the second point, the second 2 points are initialized here, and since my iterations means the number of repetitions I am performing. Okay, and it will be calculating the distance. Okay, so what is it is doing, just see the x. Okay, the first axis here, the second axis here, and the third axis here, the black one. And as the iteration goes on, it is trying to find out the least distance, and once the least distance is found out, you will notice that the my points are not getting further classified into groups. Okay, any doubt still here? Have you understand the basic concept how k-means is working? Okay, absolutely clear. Okay, so just make these points clear. Okay, so because if your doubts concepts are clear, then it will be no doubts having coding. Okay, so now we have seen how k-means was working. Now the question might be arising that how to choose the value of k. Okay, in the k-means we have to select the value of k. So to select the value of k, we have two methods generally. One is called as the elbow method, and the another one is called as chill out coefficient. Okay, but we will be saying only the elbow method. Okay, so what does the elbow method says is we will plot different values of k. Okay, so we'll be plotting different k values, and for different k values, I will be having a distance matrix called as WSS. Okay, soon I will be discussing that. Okay, so just take a visualization. Okay, so in the case of elbow method, what I'm doing is, suppose I have initialized 2 points. So this is my point A and this is my point B, and this is your centroid. Okay, you have drawn your centroid and you're calculating the distance. So what happens is I'll be calculating the distance of each of these points. Okay, but have you noticed that अगर मेरे पास ज़्यादा clusters हो, suppose I am having 3 clusters, so the distance, average distance will be small. मतलब अगर if I am having a least if I am having least number of k values, so then I would have to capture more and more points. If I want to capture more and more points, then the average distance will be getting much higher. Okay, do you all agree with this? Okay, Samiksha, what do you want me to repeat? Just ask it. I will repeat once again. Do you have doubts, Samiksha? The previous slide. Okay, no problem. This one, the album method, or the previous, or this one? Which one? Okay, this slide. Okay, what happens in the case of, as I have told you, the k-means try. I will be randomly initializing the points. Okay, so what happens in the case of k-means? Okay, hold on. So what is happening here? Okay, so since suppose your data is randomly screwed. Okay, so initially I will be plotting my randomly points. Suppose the first point is this, and I have also plotted 2 points, but the 2 points are overlapping on each other. So next task, what I will be doing is I will be calculating the centroid. Centroids means I will be calculating this point and these points, and centroid is a plus b by 2. Suppose I have found out the distance a plus b by 2. Now I will be drawing a perpendicular line between them, and I would try to find the minimum distance of this point. Okay, uh, and the process goes on as we have to find out the minimum distance. Okay, once the minimum distance is found, my k-means algorithms will stop working. Means it will be stop getting further improved. As you can see in the case of 13th 14th iteration, the process is not getting changed. Means we have found out the optimal solution. Okay, so that's how the it works. Is this okay? Okay, great. So as we were discussing about the elbow method, so what was happening in the elbow method? Yeah, you have drawn this line. Okay, you have drawn the perpendicular line, and now you are calculating the distance. But as I have told you, as the number of points, as the number of clusters increases, suppose I'm plotting one more cluster. So as I'm increasing the number of cluster, of course my average distance will be decreased because more and more points will be formed in this cluster and this cluster and these clusters. Okay, मतलब हो क्या रहा कि as I'm increasing the number of clusters, as I'm increasing the value of k, my average distance, my average, agree with this? मतलब जो मेरा average distance था वो कम हो रहा. Okay, So what is happening in the case of elbow method is we'll find out the point at which k decrease abruptly, means the value of k is getting very drastically changed. So when the value of k was 1, suppose ये समझो कि तुम्हारे पास एक डेटा सेट है, suppose this is your data set and you want to classify, okay, but you are just choosing the value of k is equals to 1. Suppose I will be choosing the value of k is equals to 1, so this is my circle. In this case the distance from these points will be very large. Okay, do you all agree कि ये points मेरा distance बहुत ज़्यादा होगा? If I'm, are you getting this or not? If the value of k is 1, then all the points will be fall into that one clusters, and for calculating the distance from this one cluster, all the points will be having the average distance high. इतना समझा क्या till now? इतना समझ रहा क्या? Okay, great. But as soon as what is happening now, I am plotting the graph. Okay, मैंने ये ग्राफ प्लॉट किया. Okay, suppose this is my two graph. Suppose I am choosing the value of cluster k is equals to 2. Okay, अब मैंने वैल्यू k is equals to 2 चूज की. अब क्या हो रहा है इधर ये पॉइंट्स का डिस्टेंस, ये पॉइंट का डिस्टेंस, ये पॉइंट का डिस्टेंस, और मतलब द डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम दिस ग्रीन पॉइंट टू ऑल दिस रेड पॉइंट्स, this will fall into one clusters and this will fall into one clusters. Now the average will be very less. Okay, average distance from all these points, matlab from the green point to all these points, the distance will be less. Okay, means your average distance is less. So that's the main logic behind the elbow method. As you increase the value of k, your average distance will decrease, and we have to find out that point of k at which the distance decreases very drastically. So, okay, Nakul, I will repeat once again. Let me explain it into Hindi to you. तुमको हिंदी तो समझ से होंगे. मेरा ये एक पॉइंट है, मेरा डेटा सेट है. सपोज आई हैव दिस पॉइंट्स. ओके, इन पॉइंट्स में क्या हो रहा कि इफ आई एम चूजिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ k इज इक्वल्स टू 1, मैंने ये वैल्यू k इज इक्वल्स टू 1 चूज की. अब क्या कर रहा मैं ये पॉइंट से इन सब पॉइंट्स का डिस्टेंस कैलकुलेट कर रहा. दिस पॉइंट, दिस पॉइंट, दिस पॉइंट, एंड आई विल बी टेकिंग द एवरेज ऑफ ऑल द डिस्टेंस. एवरेज का फॉर्मूला पता है, नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स, मतलब तुम्हारा एवरेज डिवाइडेड बाय नंबर ऑफ पॉइंट्स. ओके, सपोज एवरेज इज 6, मैंने एवरेज डिस्टेंस निकाल लिया. सो डू यू एग्री? ओके, लेट मी टेक अनदर केस. ओके, सो दिस वाज द फर्स्ट केस. नाउ द सेकंड केस. नाउ इन द सेकंड केस you have the same number of points. Okay, you have the same points, but here इधर क्या कर रहे हो तुम? Here you are choosing two clusters, one this point and one this point. Of course वो एक क्लस्टर में गिर रहे, तो क्या होगा, ये पॉइंट्स, ये डिस्टेंस, ये डिस्टेंस, ये डिस्टेंस, ये कैलकुलेट होगा. ये इसके साथ तो डिस्टेंस कैलकुलेट नहीं करेंगे ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि वो क्लस्टर में फॉल नहीं करता. एक ये क्लस्टर बन जाएगा और एक ये क्लस्टर बन जाएगा. तो पहले तुम मेरे को ये बताओ कि अगर इफ आई एम चूजिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ k इज इक्वल्स टू 1, उस केस में मेरा एवरेज ज़्यादा होगा, एवरेज डिस्टेंस, कि इस केस में दो अलग अलग, मतलब एक सिंगल का एवरेज ज़्यादा होगा. एवरेज डिस्टेंस वुड बी लेस इन विच ऑफ दिस टू केसेस? You have the case 1. Okay, let me mark. So you have this case 1. Here your value of k is equals to 1, and you have found out the average distance. Now you have cluster 2. This is the case 2, and here the value of k is equals to 2. In which of these cases would the average distance be minimum? Of course, absolutely. तुम्हारा k is equals to 2 के लिए कम हो रहा. तो ये तो तुम्हारे बात समझ में आ रही कि एज आई एम इंक्रीजिंग, अगर मैंने इधर थर्ड क्लस्टर भी ऑर्गेनाइज कर लिया, सपोज आई एम टेकिंग दिस वैल्यू. ओके, सपोज मैंने सेम डेटा पॉइंट से, एंड नाउ व्हाट आई एम डूइंग इज आई एम चूजिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ k इज इक्वल्स टू 3. सपोज इन द के मतलब 3 इनिशियलाइज की, तो मेरे 3 क्लस्टर्स बन गए, ये क्लस्टर एंड दिस वन इज द क्लस्टर. इस केस में क्या होगा, इस केस में एवरेज और कम आएगा, क्योंकि पॉइंट्स आर गेटिंग क्लस्टर्ड इनटू वन पॉइंट, मतलब एक ही इसमें. यस, ग्रेट, एवरेज इज गेटिंग डिक्रीज. बट एट सम पॉइंट, मतलब एक पॉइंट तुम्हारा कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा आएगा, एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ द टाइम द एवरेज डिस्टेंस वुड बी गेटिंग समवॉट कांस्टेंट, कि आफ्टर दिस पॉइंट द एवरेज डिस्टेंस इज डिक्रीजिंग वेरी स्लो, वेरी वेरी स्लो. तो यू विल बी सिलेक्टिंग दैट पॉइंट, द पॉइंट उसके जस्ट पहले का पॉइंट सिलेक्ट करोगे. ओके, so this is what it is told here. When the value of k is equals to 1, the within this cluster, okay, so this is in the cluster, it is called as within clusters, your sum of distance will be very high if your value of k is equals to 1. As the value of k increases, the sum of square will, मतलब तुम्हारा average decrease होगा. As I am increasing the value of k, तो if I am increasing the value of k, we have seen that the average distance is getting less. Will plot the graph, मतलब हमने graph plot किया अभी. My k values and WCSS means within cluster sum of squares means your average distance. If I'm plotting the distance at some point of our graph, the decrease will be abruptly. मतलब if I'm choosing the value of k is equals to 1, in that case my average will be very high. If I'm choosing the value of k is equals to 2, it is getting a decrease. In the case of 3, the average is getting slightly more decrease. But after 4 onwards, we can see that the difference is not that much. Okay, but so we will select that point at which the distance at which the value of k is changing abruptly. So just see here what is happening in this case. The value of k is getting decreased, the WCSS is getting very decreased when the value of k is equals to 2. After the value of k is equals to 3, 4, 5, it is almost constant, you can see it. So which value of k I will be choosing is, I will be choosing the value of k is equals to 2. Now have you got the concept how I am choosing the value of k? Okay, great. So यही concept समझना था कि how I am choosing the value of k and the concept of k means. Okay, so just tell me for this example, suppose I am plotting, okay, previously just visualize this graph. Okay, suppose I'm taking my random 4 points, and as soon as I'm doing more and more number of iterations, how is the k value getting decreased? Just see here. And now tell me how much, what should be the value of k in this case? You have the graph in front of you. Just tell me what will be the value of k you will be choosing. Just plot the x and y coordinate. You will be seeing.
Actually, we'll select the k equals to 4 in this example that Aditya is showing, but the number of iterations that will be required will be 6.
Nakul is absolutely right. Okay, so what I have told you, I will be choosing the value of k at which my data set means my WSS. WSS means your average distance. WSS is just represented for within sum of squared, at which it is decreasing abruptly. Abruptly means it is very changing very fast. So I can see here that if I'm plotting the distance, I can see that at x is equals to 4 means my value of, when the value of k is equals to 4, my graph is decreasing very abruptly. So I will be choosing the value of k is equals to 4. Is it clear how I am choosing the value of k? Samiksha, have you got it? Okay, got it, great. So now we'll be seeing the advantages and disadvantages and some of the applications. So what were the advantages? It is very simple from the previous algorithm. It is very simple to use. You can scale it to your US data. If you have a very large data set, then only it doesn't have many problems. Like you don't have to do much cleaning in this all type of data sets. It can add up to new examples very quickly, and the clusters are, matlab, you have to require very less number of iterations to perform this. You have to perform very less number of iterations in the case of k-means. And what are the disadvantages of k-means? So if my points are this, outliers means if my points is ranging to way far from these points, in that case my k-means will be getting affected. So that's what it is saying. It is sensitive to outliers. Means if my point is ranging too far, my clusters will be getting too stretched in that case. Choosing k value manually is a tough job. Matlab, if obviously we won't be selecting the k value as manually. We have seen the elbow method, but still if you want to choose the manually, it would be very difficult task. And as the number of dimensions increases, its scalability decreases. What does this mean? Okay, so this points refers to number of dimensions means your number of features. As your features increases, suppose you have 100 features, in that case k-means would not perform that as effective as it was performing on 10 features. Means as your features are increasing, k-means the effectivity of k-means decreases, means it is not able to perform at that much high performance as it was able to perform on the 10 features. Okay, applications of k-means. Okay, so k-means is applicable when you don't have the labels, means based on your scores you only have the scores of your scores. In that case you can categorize into grades like A, B or C. So this was your first application. Second application, it uses k-means. The medical profession use k-means to find out the different types of problems. Means if I have similar type of symptoms are there, so I can suggest that the person might be having COVID positive, the person is COVID positive, or if similar symptoms are found in that particular patient X, then I can say that he has cancer or not. Search engine. Okay, so this is most the widely used example which you can relate. So if you so anyone has used Google image or Google search, means you have to just take the picture, you have to just scan the image and it will give you some reference about the related image. So what is happening? Okay, so how to do cheating? It's unofficial. You just use Google Lens, you just copy the question and you search on the net. Okay, and that's how you pass on to the exams. Okay, don't use this technique. Okay, so Google Lens is one such widely used application of k-means. So what is it is doing? It is trying to bring you some of the renowned clusters. What is it is doing? मतलब तुम्हारे पास clusters ला रहा हो. If I'm searching the value of if I'm searching the questions, tell me about k-means algorithm. So it will find on the net the related k-means algorithm and it would be providing you with the k-means articles or k-means Wikipedia. So that's the particular use case of Google Lens. It is using k-means. Okay. So that's it from my side and thank you. Now you will be heading on to the hands-on practical with Vishal. Okay. So
Yep.
Vishal, I will be handing over to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So have you got the k-means algorithm? All of you. I want reply from all of you. Okay. So I have been only seeing Samiksha, Nakul and Chi, very few students. What about others? Got it, got it. Great, great, great. Just focus on the concepts. Once you understood the concept, it is very easy for you to grasp other concepts. And you have you noticed that someone is missing from our side? Those who are attending the sessions regularly, you will be noticing someone is missing. Yes, Athav is not there today. So today we will be having the session with Vishal. So he had taught you the Nape's algorithm previously. Don't worry if you don't have got the theory. He's good at practical, so he'll be trekking onto the practical today.
Okay, so as usual, we have opened the Jupyter notebook and yep, the very first thing that we need to do is to import the libraries that we'll be using. So our usual stuff, import numpy as np, import pandas as pd. These np and pd are aliases. This means
Vishal,
that you
you have
can
not shared your
access.
screen.
Really? Okay, I'll share it again. Share desktop window, entire screen. Now visible?
Yes, it's visible now. Okay, so
Okay.
we go on.
So as usual, we are importing the our usual libraries, NumPy and Pandas, and we are using this alias. Alias is just another name for that library. And for plotting purposes, this time we are going to work with Plotly. So this Plotly is a great alternative to Matplotlib. This builds some interactive graphs of objects as go.
Means in the case of Matplotlib, you were able to do visualization for similar stuff. You can use Plotly. It's just a substitution of Matplotlib. Either you can use Matplotlib or Plotly. Both are used for visualization purpose. For this lecture, we will be heading on with Plotly. So it has more visualization stuff than Matplotlib. Okay.
Our usual stuff, NumPy, Pandas, and this for plotting purposes, Plotly, and the last one is for the implementation of k-means algorithm. And we are running this from expected. Okay. And I'm importing some stuff for visualization purposes. You don't need to worry about that. That's just for me to, make graphs pretty. So utils is for utility. Utility, I'm going to import. Let's see what do I have here. Set default and plot clusters. Clusters 3D. I'm going to set the default configuration for the plot. So the very first thing that we need to do is to import the data. So this time we are going to work with a mall data set. This small data set will have the entry of every customer that this mall have seen. So just all customer or S. And we are going to see the first 5 rows of this pandas data frame. So the very first column is customer ID. You will have uh, a different ID assigned to each customer. And the next column that you are seeing is the gender of that person. The next thing is age. What's the age of that customer, whatever that customer is going into a mall. And the annual income. And the next thing is spending score. How much that guy spends on a particular day in a mall. Right. So the next thing that we are going to analyze, we are just going to do some basic stuff first. We check the shape of the data set. It's how many rows and columns this data have. So this has 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This second, and this has 200 rows. Means you have data set of 200 customers. All right. And we are also going to do df.describe. Return the all the statistical measure of your data set. So for example, you have 200 customers and the median age of your mean age is 38.85. Your you have some very, what you can say, very old person coming to your mall, and there are also very young person too. The annual mean income is 60.56 thousand. Spending score mean is 50.2, right? And before going further, we are also going to check if we have any null values in our dataset or not. If there are any null values, then our algorithm will break. So we'll just check if we have any. So to check, use this is null function. Is null will return uh, if that row is if that row in a particular column is null or not. This will return a true or false. So when you sum this up, this will return the total number of null values in that particular column, right? So we have done the pretty basic stuff here first before moving on to the k-means part. Is this clear to all, the how we have imported the data set and imported the libraries? Right? Any doubts so far?
If you are having just doubt, just ask it.
Right, good. So can anyone tell what will be my x and y here?
There is no why, Vishal, you know that.
I was just checking if someone can answer.
Oh, okay, forgive me.
So the very first thing that you'll do is just drop the customer ID. This is unique for every customer. This does not add any information to your model. So we are just going to drop this customer ID. And for plotting purposes, we are going to only work with this age, annual income, and spending score, because it's, to be honest, it's easier to visualize it in 2D, but anyways, we are going to see it in 3D. So age, annual income, and spending score. We are going to work with these three features.
Vishal, if you have the data set, can you share them?
Yep. I
Just share the
think I
link.
need to.
Is the link of the data set?
I need to search on Kaggle. All dataset clustering analysis. Is it this? Okay, here we have it.
If you have the permission, what you can do is you can upload it on GitHub. If you don't have the permission, just paste the Kaggle link into the chat box.
Okay.
Okay, what you have to do is you have to just go to the link and you have to download the dataset and work in that particular environment. Just copy to the dataset in that particular Jupyter location.
Yep.
Okay.
But anyways, at the end of the session, I'll share this dataset and notebooks in our GitHub repository, so you can access it there.
Okay. Yes, you can move forward.
Yep. We are going to work with age, annual income, and this third one, annual income is $1,000. Third one is spending score. Okay. This is our X. In this X, we are going to find clusters. So we are trying to segment our customers in different groups, right? So as Atrav has told you that for k-means, we need to do all that random initialization stuff and the centroids move towards the convergence, and you at the end get the clusters. So for that, we need to just do this k-means, and this will do all that stuff for you. And for this k-means, you need to give this n clusters, the how many clusters you are going to need, right? And this is a big question here, the number of clusters that you need to have. And so the answer that this Aditya has given is using the inertia. I should have said it. The squared sum of distance between the inside the cluster is called as inertia. Right? So
Inertia just refers to the average distance which are taught you inertia or average sum of square or WSS within sum of square. It is also called as inertia. Means you should have to, matlab you, of course you want to have the less average or less mean. That means you should have less inertia. Inertia is just another term for average or within sum of square, whatever you call it. As मतलब जितना inertia कम होगा उतना अच्छा है. But you also know
right.
that as we are increasing the value of k, inertia will be getting decreased. So you have to find that optimal value. Means
Right.
after which inertia is getting decreased very slowly. Okay. Yes. Go on.
For this reproducibility purposes, we are going to set the random state too. So this will always use the same seeding. Let's say 101. Right, cool. So this big question mark here. So for this question mark, we are going to try all the values of k, right? So we are going to run a for loop for k in range 1 to, let's say I want to have 10 clusters, but this range works in a very weird and different way. So I'll have to do this 10 plus 1, right? And this begins would be this. And your number of clusters, you are assigning this k from this here, right? So this k will take value from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, not 11. So after doing this, you are going to fit the k-means algorithm to your X dataset. Or X is this: age, annual income, and spending school. And after that, you are going to need the inertia. So for inertia, we are going to need an inertia list for if we want to plot it. This inertia list will have all the values of inertia of these different k's in k-means. We'll just do this inertia dot append. This append will, as its name suggests, it will append a new value to your previous list. Means dot inertia underscore. So return the average squared sum of distances between in that cluster, right? And we are done with k-means. With these just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code. Now we just need to analyze what number of clusters we need to choose. So for that, first thing we are going to do is plot a figure of this inertia. So dot figure, and I'm going to add a trace. In this trace, I'm going to write a scatter plot. Scatter, and for x, I think we need 10 values in x. So and we draw a range 1 to n plus 1. For y, we'll have this inertia. Right? And we are just setting the mode to line plus markers. Everything in between lines plus markers. So everything will be in some pretty mode. You see it in the visualization. And we are also going to set the color. We need line here. We are going to set the line color as and I think we should inertia. Very cool. update layout. This update layout will be updating the layout of the whole figure itself. So you can give title, x-axis title and y-axis title in this figure.update layout. Right? So you will give this title here as maybe something selecting P, and we are going to use elbow methods. So let's write elbow method. Right. And we are going to give x-axis title as what we had in x-axis was key, the number of clusters. And in y-axis, we had inertia. Just to be clear, that inertia increases upwards and number of cluster increases rightwards. And we are going to just show the plot. So this is a plot for inertia and the number of clusters in this data set. So can anyone tell what should be the value of k?
Yes, we have taught you the point at which the value of k decrease abruptly means the inertia decrease abruptly. You have to select that value.
Right. For the k equals to 1 in k means clustering, we had 308.8128 thousand. For k equals to 2, we had 212 kuch something thousand. For k equals to 3, we have 143. For k equals to 4, we have 104. For k equals to 5, we have 75. For k equals to 6, we have 58. And then we have some slowdown after k equals to 6. From 58, we have 51, then 44. What do you think we should select the value of k? Yeah. Actually, we can select any of these two, k equals to 5 or k equals to 6. But to me, this k equals to 6 looks more reliable thing, right? Because it just decreases after, it decreases slowly after that. So we are going to select the value of k as 6. So again, I'm just going to copy this above code, Control C, and I'm going to paste this here. And I'm going to select the number of clusters as 6. Everything remains the same, and we are not going to delete this inertia. Right. And after doing all this, we are going to predict the labels. So what label does that cluster, does that what you can say, the observation will be assigned to? That will be k means dot. What do you think we should write here? Predict does not work here, so we need to write labels. And if you want to see the centroid, sklearn has also saved that in another variable that is called k-means and again centroid underscore. Right. And we are also going to see this centroids. There are different centroids. There are 6 centroids. Cluster centers. That works. So in this, you can see that we had 200 observations. So each 200 observation is assigned some cluster number. For example, the first observation belongs to cluster number 4. The second observation belongs to cluster number 5. The third observation belongs to cluster number 4, and so on. And we also have the centroid position of the different clusters. So we had 6 clusters, so this has 6 rows: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And these 3 columns are the X, Y, and Z axis. Because we had 3 features in our data set, so therefore we have these 3 columns here, right? And for visualization purposes, we are just going to use again. I've imported a plot clusters 3D function here. So let's see what this will do. This will plot cluster in 3D, right? That's the most simple function. And you need to give this X data frame that will have 3 columns, labels, list. This will have the cluster number assigned by the clustering algorithm, a plot title. This will work even if you don't give this. It will use by default these clusters and XYZ axis names. If you don't give this will not assign anything, right? Yes, this returns a figure. So you need to write a figure here. What was the name again? Clusters 3D. Copy the inside too. And for X, we are going to use X. For labels, we are going to use labels. For title, we are going to say use maybe customer clusters, right? For x-axis, we had age, y annual income, and z spending score. Age, annual income, spending score. And after this, you'll just need to do figure.show. And go. You have your 6 cluster in this data set. You can analyze this. The very first cluster is this pink guy, this pink blob. The second cluster is this purple blob. The third cluster is this, I think, what is this? Pinkish purple color. Third cluster is this, I don't know, I'm running out of colors name. Aditya, can you help me what this color is?
uh, just say it red.
Okay, let's say that it's red. This is blue. This is
Orange.
golden, I think. Yes, orangish
Okay.
golden. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters here, right? That is this k-means algorithm has assigned you.
So just view how nicely it is plot using your Plotly library. So you can visualize it into literally into 3D. Okay, so any doubt still here? So have you understood the k-means algorithm? What were the features we used? How was the k was selected? How it is getting plotted? Any doubt so far? In theory or in practical? Okay, great. Great. Okay, so that's it from our side for k-means algorithm. Tomorrow will be your last lectures about the PCA, and one important notice that those who will be filling out the feedback form will be I will be sharing the feedback form. Hold on. So you have to fill this feedback form, and those who will be filling this feedback form will only be getting ML Bootcamp certificate. Those who are not filling out this form won't be getting the certificate, and the form will be open till midnight 12. After that, we will be closing out the form, and any student who will want to fill out after 12 a.m. would not be accepted for the certificate, because why would those be getting certificate who haven't participated yet? Okay. Is it clear? Okay, great, Daniel. I guess so Daryl has missed today. Okay, so see if you are friend with Daryl, so you can tell him that you have to fill that form. So it might be a chances those who are not attended today's session won't be मतलब आज तक किया those who have attended session still today but just forgot to attend the session. Do share the notebooks. Yes, Samiksha will be sharing the notebook and the video on YouTube and GitHub soon. Okay. So please fill out this form and any feedback about today's session, whether it was too far slow or it was over your head or it was great to the point. Okay, great, great. Okay, so that's it from our side. You can leave the session now. Okay, so yes, we'll be closing onto the session.